Now, kids are different now.
Yeah.
Kids will start weight training in junior high.
Yeah.
So the idea that these kids are not better than they were 10 years ago is ridiculous, man. They get into weight training earlier.
Yeah, everything.
They get into individual skill training earlier.
Yes.
And, whatever you might think of it, that is just the nature of the game and how it has evolved. That's how it was, man.
No.
In training camp, I used to have bloody noses in training camp, man.
What?
Yeah, man, Stott was rough, man. But it was basketball now. He won't, a lot of people might call it dirty, but he would just get you off him. That was a good place for me because these guys were veterans, missed no days. I seen Carl hurt and Stott hurt, but, still practice, still play. There's a difference between playing basketball and being a basketball player.
That's a jewel right there. They got to clip that one. That was a jewel right there. I like that one.
He got to work on his craft. He got to get in the gym and get shots up.
Yeah.
He got to lift weights. He got to take care of his body. That's a basketball player. You want to play basketball? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Go to rec on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Find your winter league. And kids don't understand that difference. How would they know if don't nobody tell them?
Will they listen?
Well, all we can do is tell them.
All we can do is our part, right?
Right.
Proud to be partnering with Underdog Sports, my favorite place to play fantasy games. You got to check out Pick'em. It is so easy to play. Just pick 2 to 8 stats of your favorite player and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. You can go 20 times your money by going 5 for 5. Sounds like fun? Sign up with promo code COURT, C-O-U-R-T, to claim your free pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. I can't wait to see your interest. We're here another episode, Full Court with CP. Got a special guest, one of the smoothest basketball players to ever grace the court. My guy, Jay Watts. What's up, man?
What's going on, Carlos?
Not much, champ. How you doing, man?
Good. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here, man. I appreciate you coming, dog. Definitely appreciate it, man. I always start out my interviews with what made you choose South Carolina?
South Carolina. I had a fondness for George Felton, who was the coach at that time. And I felt like I could play here. And when I came to visit and I met some people in the school, the administrative part, so to speak, I felt comfortable enough. And it was far enough away from home where I wasn't home. And so, it kind of fit what I was looking for. And the way I looked at it when I was coming out of high school is I took the schools by conferences. That's the way me and my high school coach planned it. So I did a few ACC schools, a few Big Ten schools, South Carolina was in the Metro then, but headed to the SEC. But South Carolina was a place where I thought I could play, and I really liked George Felton.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good person. I thought he cared about his players.
Yeah.
The basketball stuff, I thought I could work with whoever the coach would be. The game don't change a lot. And I think I proved that. I had 3 coaches in 4 years here.
Talk about it.
4 if you count Coach Crimmins, who came for a brief stay. But that was, that was tough, man. Because I started to leave after my freshman year when they got rid of Felton. And started to go to Wake Forest. Dave Odom was the coach.
I was about to say,
ironically.
GDO was the coach.
And but a good friend of mine was there also, Rodney Rogers.
Okay.
He was there. And none of this really matters now. But, I had talked to some people. And so it was just a matter if I wanted to do it or not.
Yeah.
But I stayed. Don't regret it. Really, because, like I said, the coach would change, but the game's going to stay the same, and I feel like I could play whoever the coach would be. Now, granted, I wish I had one coach for 4 years, but It was a challenge, but I mean, I made the best of it. And from a basketball standpoint, I improved every year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so my mindset was always, regardless who the coach is, I'm good enough to play. But that was tough, man. 3 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah.
And I hate to talk about coaches.
Yeah.
But with the exception of Eddie Fogler, it was a disaster. Eddie Fogler was a very good coach.
Yeah. I know his former players, all his former players speak very, very
He's a
high,
very good coach.
very
man.
highly of him.
The issue Coach Fogler and I had, and was that I had been through 2 coaches. Well, if you include Felton and then Steve Newton. And then Crimmins comes and leaves, and then Coach Fogler. So the idea of rebuilding wasn't on my radar. I had 1 year.
Yeah.
And I knew that he had to come in and kind of develop his own program. Same thing you had to do at Gray.
Yeah.
Set your tone, your culture, what have you. And so that wasn't on my radar. Yeah. I just needed you to coach. I knew I would play, and it was over with.
Yeah.
But Coach Eddie Fogler could coach, man. I wish I'd had him for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's
dope, man. Like I said, a lot of people, they speak highly of him, man. Because he left the year I got there, so I never got a chance to play under Eddie Fogler. So
you would have been his type of player.
Yeah. That's what everybody tell me. That's what they tell me.
He aggressive.
Yeah.
Feisty guys, mentally tough. You know what I mean? You'd have been perfect for him because that's how he was.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But he could coach though.
Yeah,
and that's what I liked about him.
That's good. Well, take us back to earlier. Before, Carolina. What got you interested in basketball? The grassroots of it.
When I was growing up, we played things according to the seasons. Early on. So basketball season was basketball, football, baseball. Yeah. But when you get older, which is probably the same today, junior high school kids start to play a little bit more organized. Now you got AAU that kids play earlier, but as far as school ball per se, you start to do that in junior high. So by the time I got to junior high, I was just playing basketball. Now, I know some people have different opinions about that now, and to each his own. I see the benefits in both. But for me, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Now, I played mid-Pee-wee league football, whatever, but in the 6th grade, which you cannot play, the coach put me on the team.
Yeah.
The principal okayed it. This is a true story. The principal okayed it. I practiced with him all year. Did everything, but I could not play. That was against the rules. The last game of the season, the coach played me.
For real?
The principal had a fit.
That's wild.
In 7th, 8th grade, I played junior high. Very good coach, older guy, but he was disciplined. And we beat people to death, man.
Yeah.
But that's all we did was play basketball.
Yeah. So any mentors or anybody like that pushed you towards
I had
like
2
pursuing?
older brothers.
Yeah.
That played in the sense where I could go and see them play. My uncles played, and we all played for the same coach.
Yeah.
So this guy was old.
Oh, wow.
Old school.
Yeah.
In the very essence of the word.
Yeah.
He started coaching when he said he coached everything. Football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
But so all of my uncles and my older brothers played for him. And so I wanted to play for him. He was legendary, Harvey Reed Jr., and they won. And so when I got in high school, as a freshman, I played JV. And the end of my JV year, I got moved up to varsity. 10th grade, I played varsity, but I didn't play a lot. And this, old school coaches don't really, they're about paying dues.
Yeah.
to them, you got to pay some dues. But my junior year, we played well. We were 29-1, I think. The one was the state championship.
Oh, wow. Talk about that. You don't want to talk about it? You got to talk about it, man.
Ran up against a good team.
Who was this team?
I think it was Greensboro Page or Garnet Page. I think they were out of Charlotte, somewhere around Charlotte.
Good player.
They were good
players,
well coached.
Yeah.
And they, I showed it a lot of the responsibility, and they threw a lot of people at me. And it wore me down. And we lost, but we were 29-1. And then the next season we came back, I think we lost 3 games, but we didn't win the state championship. But my last 2 years of high school, I think I lost 4 or 5 games. Yeah. And I think 2 of those because I broke my finger. So we won a lot in high school, but never won the state championship.
Why is that? Why do you think?
I personally think that we were good enough, but not physically strong enough as a team. Because we played teams that were bigger and stronger, but not as talented. And I think that wore us down at the end of games.
A lot of football players out there.
Yeah. Now, kids are different now. Yeah. Kids will start weight training in junior high.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the idea that the kids today are not better than the kids 20 years ago. That's ridiculous. Because these kids play early. Yeah. 5, 6 years old. I'm sure you got one coming that's going to play early. Yeah. So the idea that these kids are not better than they were 10 years ago is ridiculous, man. They get into weight training earlier. Yeah. Everything. They get into individual skill training earlier. Yes. You know, whatever you might think of it. But, you know, so, you know, everything is early. And that's why you see these guys in high school extremely talented enough that they don't have to go to college. You see more and more of that. Yeah. That is not by accident. You know, that is just the nature of the game and how it is evolving.
Most definitely. So talking about, you know, game, you know, evolving, what's the biggest, you know, difference? What do you think the biggest difference between when you played and now?
I think it's more offensive minded. Yeah. I think it makes sense to me, but I think coaches understand that they have to generate offense to win games. Yeah. I don't think you can win games 40, 50 points like that. Maybe even not 60. I think you gotta score some points because defense, as you know, is about effort. It ain't a whole lot of technique and skill. It's a lot of that is effort. Yes. But here again, I think these kids are getting training and skill development so early that the offense is outrunning the defense because nobody's going to practice on defense. Yeah. Nobody's going in the gym and say, I'm going to do slides or, you know, nobody's going to do that.
There's only a select few. And that's very slim.
And that's probably with somebody in there with them making them do it. But a kid on his own is not going to go in the gym and practice defense. I understand that. Yeah. But they're going to do a lot of skill work. And I think the offense outpaces the defense. And that's why you see, you know, the game being more offensive minded. Big guys shooting now. Yeah. The game is positionless now.
For sure.
Smallest guy used to be the point guard. Yeah. True guy was a shooter. Usually couldn't dribble well. Yeah. But could stroke it. Yeah. Small forward could do a little bit of everything. Yeah. Shoot a little bit, could drive a little bit, was athletic, you know. Yeah. Then you had the 4 guy who was the post guy, got you the buckets, and you had a center who kind of filled in. Yeah. Mostly defense and rebound. But that used to be the game. Yeah. But that's not the game no more. No. It's positionless, right.
It's kids, everybody really running around the 3-point line.
Around 3-point line.
Like I've seen, you know, we've had a game where a kid, we got a steal and he takes off, but he veers off to the 3-point line when the kid's throwing the ball to the rim.
To the rim, yeah.
It's a turnover.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, see, you know, offensive mind. The only problem with it, and you know this, is that they're not skilled enough to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not Golden State in college or in high school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have not taken that many shots.
No. They think they have.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
they definitely think they have.
Making one every now and again, that's not good.
No. Consistency, man.
Yeah, consistency, man, which requires a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of reps. I don't think kids understand how much time you got to put in it. I tell parents all the time about kids playing basketball. I said they got to love it because they spend too much time doing it. You know, so if you don't love it, just let them play AAU or regular, you know. Yeah. But if you're going to invest in them, then you got to love it. Yeah.
Because it's different. It's different now.
It's different.
Because, you know, we played the game. We love the game, you know, because it was competitive. But now it's like, I think they just like what comes with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Being on the team.
Yeah.
There's a difference between playing basketball and being a basketball player. Basketball player works on his craft.
That's a jewel right there. They got to clip that one. That was a jewel right there. I like that one.
He got to work on his craft. He got to get in the gym and get shots up.
Yeah.
He got to lift weights. He got to take care of his body. You know, that's a basketball player. You want to play basketball? Nothing wrong with that. Go to rec on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Find your winter league.
Yeah.
AAU. Nothing wrong with that, you know, but that's a difference.
Yeah.
And kids don't understand that difference. And a lot of times, Los, I think, you know, how would they know if don't nobody tell them?
Will they listen?
Well, all we can do is tell them.
All we can do is our part, right?
Right. Because we were told some things, too, that we ain't listen, you know.
You're right.
So all we can do is tell them. And I tell kids all the time. Not too long ago, I went to see Mars Hill, Larry Davis coaches. Yeah, my son is on his staff.
Okay.
And they played Benedict. And we went to see them play. And it was a few kids on Benedict team that I knew from the area. And I was telling the kid, I said, how many shots you get up a day? I was just teasing him. He said, I shoot the ball, coach. I said, it's 5 spots on the court. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. That's 200. I said, that should be the minimum that you do every day. And me and JoJo and I talked about it a lot because we talk a lot of basketball, especially when he was in Chicago with Phil. And I was in Miami with Pat Riley. And see, in Miami, you had to get 200 up, everybody, before practice every day. So it started to become like warming up. That's part of your warm-up. Yeah. Everybody, every day. And I was telling Joe one night, man, I saw Darren Marley make about 92 out of 100 threes.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Just stroking it, man.
Just shooting.
92 out of 100. Yeah. I'm sitting there, I'm next, waiting for him to finish, Coach Peston.
Yeah.
92 out of 100.
That's perfecting your craft.
That's stroking it, man.
Yeah. I seen Chris Mullin shoot it like that.
I'm telling you, there's some guys that can do it.
I seen Mullin shoot it.
I seen Rashawn Leonard. He was down there then. Just shoot it, man.
Yeah. Flat out, just shoot it.
Like if he closes his eyes, it's still going in.
Yeah.
You know? But them reps, man. You know, and I don't think kids quite understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, going back to, college, one of your favorite college moments?
My freshman year. Was a freshman, like I said, I had a fondness for Felton, Coach Payne, who a very good coach, I think. I think Joe Dooley was here. But we had a good team. Barry Manning, Joe Red, who was a pro. He had his heart issue, but Joe Red was a pro.
Yeah.
Troy McCoy, JoJo. I think we had Jeff Rawson was there with us. Mike Glover, my first year. So these guys were local and they could play. And I think we might have got top 10, top 15 that year because we beat North Carolina up in what they used to have the Tournament of Champions. But that was a good moment because I could see that we had enough to do something.
Yeah.
Because we had the talent, we had the size, and we had guys not only that played basketball, but they were local, so they always played it. See, when I got down here, we used to go play at Hyde Park.
Yeah.
You know, kids don't play outside.
No.
We're at a D1 basketball program.
Yeah.
But we go play at Hyde Park because that's where
the run.
Barry, Joe Red, you know.
Yeah.
Then later on, Meadow Lake Park.
Yeah. I used to do that too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But my point was we would go play because we wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't have to get us a group and go somewhere and play. Just us. We go play, man.
Just go hoop.
Yeah. Marcus Sachs used to come.
Yeah.
You know, Sachs can play. So, you know, we had guys play, man. And I think that was what I was used to coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Was guys who played basketball all the time. At some point in the day, we played.
Yeah.
You know, we did everything else. But at some point in the day, every day we played, even on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Guys who went to church, but after church, Meadow Lakes. I remember being in Meadow Lakes, and I think guy come in there, and he had, I think it was Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett. I think Kevin Garnett was with him. A guy named Will Cunningham who went to Temple. I think Sachs might have been with him. But, you know, that was the type of talent running through Meadow Lakes back then, man.
Yeah.
You know. And then, you know, when guys were home like X and Core, you know, we would all get together and play. But, you know, we played a lot of basketball, man.
That's it. Gym hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of pros. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, going back to college, man, you saying Tournament of Champions that year was probably one of your best games. What was your welcome to college moment? You know, like I've arrived, you know, I know you've always had like the confidence you can play.
Yeah.
But
it might have been when Steve Newton first got here. Because we started off pretty good, fairly decent. He was a new coach, you know, so now a lot of things were new.
Mm-hmm.
But we started off fairly decent. And also, a lot of guys graduated. You know, Barry was gone, Joe Red, Troy, Mike Glove, you know. Joey and I played another year together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first year, I think, Kerry Rich.
I'm about to say, C. Rich was there.
Yeah, C. Rich was here, yeah.
What year did Boston get there? AB?
I think the year after, because he didn't play with JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but AB came, and that was with Fogel, yeah. Yeah.
I had a squad.
Yeah, man, had some talent, man. Just,
I had a squad, man.
And I hate to say it, man, but we just needed some stability at the coaching, at head coaching. Man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we needed because we had talent.
Yeah.
And we had guys who knew how to play and who loved to play.
Yeah.
And I keep harping on that, man, but, you know, you spend too much time doing this, man.
Yeah. Back when you was playing, probably, I would say, who was a guy you would be like, all right, man, I might got to get some rest. This dude going to give me a run for my money tonight. On
my team or in the, huh?
No, somebody you was playing against when you were in college.
As a team, it was Kentucky. Not so much one particular guy because they had Jamal Mashburn then.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that was more Joe Red or Jeff Ross, you know, the big guy.
Yeah.
Travis Ford, little point guard that could stroke it. But as a team, Kentucky, because Kentucky was early on three-point oriented. I've heard Rick Pitino literally cuss the guys out because they step on that line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And literally, I seen them pull guys out the game.
Yeah.
Because they didn't shoot the three. Wide open, pass it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that was different because they were one of the first teams that started to play like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was hard to get used to because when you play like that, you got to have guys that can do that.
That can do that.
And even Jamal could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But as far as a game or a team that was like, I'm not going to say intimidating because I didn't have to face them, But a team that we kind of knew was going to be a serious problem was LSU because Shaq was on that team.
Yeah, make a lot of sense.
Right, And so we knew that was going to be a problem.
Talk about that, man.
This is a young Shaq.
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about, competing against a young Shaq.
A young
at that
Shaq.
point.
He was raw, but not in a clumsy way, of course.
Mm-mm.
And he was, he was kid, so he liked to play, so he had a lot of energy. And it's almost like he took certain things personal. Shaq tried to dunk everything back then.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to dunk everything and block everything. And he's young, so, that's a lot of his game. Hadn't developed a lot yet. Even throughout the years, you don't see Shaq doing a whole lot of finessing moves.
No.
But he was power. And the ironic thing about Shaq is that as he got older, I got older, and so I saw him play in the league too and against him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the same way, he's just bigger. And I tell my kids all the time, I seen grown men like this all day. Just all night long, man.
Yeah.
When we played them in Utah. And I think Greg Ostertag was our center. I think he was from Kansas. Just all night, man. Shaq, and it was just Shaq, most dominant thing I ever seen in my life, man.
Yeah. People really don't understand.
People really don't understand,
like
man.
Today's basketball, they don't understand.
Because see now these guys
shooting.
do this.
They just shooting.
Yeah, Shaq was on the block, 1, 2, he was spinning, and he was up and dunking.
He the reason we got breakaway rims.
He's the reason we got breakaway rims.
They don't know that.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
Because Shaq was literally breaking backboards, man.
He bring a goal down. Jesus Christ.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, that'd probably be not intimidating, but you'd be like, all right, man, this gonna be crazy. This is
early on.
Yeah.
And like I said, I see him grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then play against him, catch him in the pros. And good guy, man.
Yeah.
But he could, he was a handful when he wanted to play.
Yeah. Different.
Incredible. It's different, man.
Yeah. I just couldn't imagine that, your matchup is Shaq. Nah.
Shaq.
Nah, coach, we got to talk. We got to rethink this, That's funny. Yeah, well, switching gears a little bit, where you were talking about a little bit, getting drafted. Talk about that. Talk about, how was you feeling when, you heard your name called?
I was riding through campus on my way back to my apartment. And I think I stopped off somewhere. I think at the store on campus, one of the stores on campus, and somebody told me that that's how I found out.
What?
That's how I found out. And when I got to my apartment, I got a phone call, and it was from the GM from Utah, Scott Layton, who I had met. They had these camps at the end of your senior season. And I had went to the Nike pre-draft camp or whatever in the one in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, yeah.
And so you meet a lot of people, might, do interviews, so you might meet GMs or scouts or whatever. And Utah was one of the teams that I talked to, but you never know. These are just general interviews.
Yeah, they just talk.
Right, and I knew that if I got drafted, then I would still have to make the team. Because back then, I knew if I got drafted, I was going to have to make the team, because back then, second round wasn't guaranteed. But that's how I found out. But wasn't Utah,
Yeah.
I'm from the South.
Yeah.
I grew up a Laker fan.
Yeah.
Mainly because my older brother was a Laker fan, Magic Johnson, but
yeah.
So Utah. But I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place, but the team was older, it was veteran, and they were structured.
Yeah.
It's like one of those.
Who was the coach at the time?
Jerry Sloan.
Sloan was the coach at the time. Yeah.
Jerry Sloan.
Yeah.
Defensive guy.
Definitely structured. I was about to say, structured and defense.
Defense. Old school defensive guy. Number 4, played in Chicago.
Yeah.
But a good guy, man, and he was defense, but it was structured.
Yeah.
And it was older. So like even like training camp, we might do training camp for a week, and then after that, practice might be an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then the younger guys stayed. Because, we had an older team.
Yeah.
Stock, Hornacek, Carter played a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
But it was structured. They ran a lot of 1-4 set, very organized. But I enjoyed it, man. It was completely different from Miami in the sense of that's Utah, that's Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even difference in the city itself. You know what I mean? That's how big of a difference it was. But both of them, man, I tell people all the time, man, I played for 2 Hall of Fame coaches, man.
Yeah.
Jerry Sloan, Pat Riley.
Sloan and Riley. That's tough.
And Pat Riley's, X's and O's.
Yeah.
Sloan, it was, kind of already struck, baked in.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they have been doing. This is what they do.
Yeah.
1-4 set. Wasn't hard to pick up. UCLA type. A lot of pick and roll. I tell people now I'm a master of the pick and roll.
Yeah.
We did it every day. And John Stockton.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard a guy say, and this is true, I tell people how Stock was. He could play. But, Stock, I heard a guy was talking about, might have been Cuttino Mobley. But he said he was playing Utah one time, and Stock threw the ball at, I think it was Cuttino Mobley. I'm not sure. Threw the ball at him. And it, he had to duck.
Yeah.
And he said he thought he was throwing to somebody, and it was a turnover. Won't nobody behind him.
Yeah.
Stock was throwing it right at his face, telling him to back up. You know what I'm saying? That's how Stock was, man.
No.
In training camp, I used to have bloody noses in training camp, man.
What?
Yeah, man, Stock was rough, man. But it was basketball now. He won't.
Yeah.
A lot of people might call it dirty, but he would just get you off him.
Yeah.
But Stock, little guy, had big hands. He was always in shape.
Yeah.
People don't know, he had a lot of assists, but when you look at the numbers, he had a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
But you had that, he's usually 2-1. But that was a good place for me because these guys were veterans.
Yeah.
That's
good
few young guys.
Get around a vet group.
But they were veterans, man. They came to work, came to camp in shape, missed no days. I seen Carl hurt and Stock hurt, but, still practice, still play. Real professional, man. It's a good place to go play basketball, especially when Jerry Sloan was out there.
So I guess you learned a lot about, structure and how to be a pro.
And the pro game.
Yeah, how to be a pro.
How to be a pro, man. Because, it's a lot of games, 2 or 3 a week. You really got to be quick turnover, amnesia.
Yeah.
Played it, try to go through it, what you did right, what you did wrong, what you can improve on, and then it's got to be over with because now you got another team.
Yeah. How's it living in Salt Lake?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. The weather was cold, but it was a dry cold, and they were used to it, so it's not like the roads were bad or you couldn't do nothing year-round because they were used to it.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful, man. Park City, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
I bet. And then transition into Miami, of course.
Yeah, Miami.
That was different. Where it was, I know that was a total
optimal condition.
Yeah.
Is the word Pat Riley used. Optimal condition.
It was a Pat Riley story, man. I know you got a Pat Riley story for us.
We was in training camp. Tim Hardaway was on the team. Jamal Mashburn, I think Rashawn Leonard was there. Lonzo. P.J. Brown. And we have conditioning tests before training camp that you got to pass. Now, he would get you to this point. Call you down there in the summer. Before, you had a lot of summer leagues, Pat Riley would call you and say, come on to Miami, work out for about 2 weeks, and then you can go back home and do what you want to do. But as far as having the whole summer off, that wasn't an option. No, not for us. No. I don't think for them either, because Alonzo, them guys work just as hard as anybody.
Yeah.
So we had training camp, and before training camp, we had to run these conditioning drills called 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
6. Had to run 5, but you had time.
Yeah.
Maybe 62 seconds for guards, 64 for big man, whatever.
Yeah.
And you could bank times when you tested.
Yeah.
So if you ran it
in the less time, you
got 60, then the next one you got 64, you can bank time. So the first day of training camp, that's the first thing you do.
Yeah.
Line you up, hit the whistle, guard, whatever, and you go. And when you finish, the next group come on, so it's like one on, one off. And you got to do that before you practice.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway didn't make it. And I think another guy didn't make it, but he had an issue. But Tim Hardaway didn't make it. So Pat Riley told me, come back tomorrow. Make it before practice. And let me rephrase that. You still practiced, but you had to do that every day until you made it. See what I'm saying? So if you made it the first day, you good. You ain't got to do that more. You got to do it more. Yeah. But if you didn't make it, then you got to practice. Then tomorrow before practice, you got to do it until you make those times.
Oh, wow.
Tim Hardaway didn't make it. They told me, he got mad when Tim Hardaway called the Players Association and said Pat Riley was fining him because he wasn't meeting his conditioning weight requirements. And Pat Riley said, well, if you're going to be down here, this is the way we're going to do it. Basically what he said, If you're going to be here, this is the way we're going to do it.
Similar to the Jimmy Butler situation.
And he did it until he made it.
Yeah.
The next year, they signed Tim Hardaway. I think they gave him a year, $12 million. I think something like that. But half of it was contingent on body fat and weight requirements.
Wow.
That's Pat Riley, man.
Hall of Fame coach.
That's Pat Riley, man. But he was big about you can't play this game unless you're in shape.
Yeah.
Now that's where I come from, high school.
Respect the game.
That's how I was in high school. We were in shape.
Yeah.
So, this was kind of going back home to me. But, I with the exception of high school, best shape I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We used to practice from like 8 to 2. You be in the gym all day.
All day.
You don't have no clocks in there, so you can't look to see what time it is. If you were hurt, everybody had a bike, had your number on it.
Yeah.
I think they got a new place now, but it was above the court where you could look down. And if you were hurt, they brought the bike down and put it on the side. And you rode the bike. And then you get off, you might do abs, get back on the bike.
Yeah.
And you might get off and do push-up and get back on the bike. But you did that the whole practice. Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? There were no days off. Xavier McDaniel told me, before I went down there, Xavier McDaniel told me, I told him, I said, I'm going to Miami for camp.
Yeah.
He said, best shape I've ever been in my life when he was at the Knicks and Pat Riley was there.
Yeah.
And he told me, because he said, Pat Young will get hurt, knee or something. But Pat don't give you days off, so he'd be hurt, but he had to ride that bike and got to ride it the whole practice.
Yeah.
You had your little breaks. He said that you don't be like, man, don't worry about it. I practice. Like I practice hurt before I sit there and ride that bike for 3-4 hours. But my point was that JoJo and I talked about this. It's like he didn't give you an out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't give you no out.
Yeah.
And he took care of you now. You needed treatment.
Yeah.
Something wrong, whatever. But he didn't give you no out, man.
Gotcha.
I don't care. If you can't ride a bike, if it's a need, then you're going to be doing abs or something. And everybody's in the gym. If I was a coach, this is exactly how I would do it.
Yeah.
When the practice start, everybody in the gym.
Yeah.
Trainers, everybody.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody getting treatment. Doing everybody in the gym for practice. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And the other thing that was that no clocks nowhere, man.
Yeah.
Because we used to finish practice and we look up, it'd be like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Hey, man. Dope to have you. Cool episode. Another episode, Full Court with CP, man. I appreciate Appreciate you for stopping by, man.
Glad to do it, man.
Great conversation, man.
Enjoyed it.
We out.